Hey, I'm Day, and this is Daytree. We're from RacquetFlex.com, and today we're going to be going over the ground stroke footwork pattern of the pivot. We're going to be comparing the 1 foot and the 2 foot pivot. So what is a pivot?
A pivot is rotating on a central axis. So this is your central axis. Your center of weight is here. You're pivoting, okay?
And in the pivot footwork pattern, usually what you want to do is to try and get your feet pointing in the direction of the ball to force rotational power into your ground stroke.
So the pivot shot is used in neutral situations, and the reason for that is because you want to always maximize power, obviously if you're hitting ground strokes. And what the pivot shot does is it maximizes rotational power while minimizing the time it takes to prepare and recover from the shot.
Because let's say you were hitting a spin move, right? If you were trying to hit a high spin, then you would actually be hitting the shot, then it would take longer to recover, as opposed to when you were hitting a back foot pivot, and all you have to do is rotate, hit the shot, and you're already in a recovery position.
Exactly.
For now, first we're going to be comparing the 2 foot pivot.
So you hit 2 foot pivot when the ball is low, and because you're not straightening your legs, you're hitting, on a 1 foot pivot or on any shot, you're usually trying to maximize ground force reaction.
Right.
So you'd be straightening your legs while you're uncoiling.
But this shot is different because you're actually trying to maximize rotational force instead of leg drive.
Yeah.
To substitute for the lack of, leg drive. Because in this shot, usually you won't be able to hit the ball from a straightened position. You're trying to hit the ball and stay low.
Yeah, and so we got that. To maximize the rotational power, you want to rotate from this side to all the way to this side. And to do that, you need to be in an open stance. So basically, the shot's usually hit from an open stance. It's not hit from a semi-open stance, or because when you're in a semi-open stance, the non-dominant leg is actually blocking off your ability to rotate all the way. So if you're hitting from a semi-open stance, what you'll see is usually what the players will do is take their non-dominant leg back on a spin on the 1 foot pivot.
Right. So to clarify, let's go over what you do exactly step by step in the 2 foot pivot. So first, obviously, again, we're starting in an open stance. So once you start an open stance, your shoulders and your hips are most likely going to be facing the side, parallel to the sideline, right? And then once you do that, you want to start to rotate and uncoil. You're not going to be straightening like you would on a 1 foot pivot. You would actually be starting to rotate the hips and the shoulders. Then once you make contact and follow through, you're going to be pivoting your foot to the other side, either to the net, or to the other side, depending on this pace of the ball, the depth of the ball, how high it's coming.
How much
all
power
of these
you wanna
factors are going to determine how much you want to turn and how fast you want to recover.
Yeah.
Foot pivot is probably the most common shot that you'll see
tour.
on the ATP side. And the reason behind that is because you don't need a lot of effort to put behind the shot. Obviously, a jump shot is going to require much more effort. That's why there's much more power. But the reason that this is the best shot is because you can sustain your energy much longer because you won't be having to jump constantly. You can just straighten, right? And that'll be enough force to be sufficient enough to stay in the rally. You won't be put in a defensive position.
And then we have to remember, we're in a neutral position. So neutral position means the ball's actually coming at us pretty hard and we're not moving.
Right.
We're in this sort of position, so we don't want to hit too hard. That's just gonna make an error usually.
Exactly. So let's talk about what you do in the 1 foot pivot. So you can start in an open stance just like the 2 foot pivot, but you want to start in a semi-open stance about 45 degrees from the baseline. 2/3 of your weight on the back foot, just like this. Now, because you're in this stance, you actually have rotation available, about 20 to 30 degrees. You can rotate, which causes more external oblique stretch. Now, that in turn, you will be able to turn in with more force in your upper body, as opposed to the 2-foot pivot where you're rotating your entire body as a core. You will be able to turn more of your upper body compared to your lower body, which will give you more, stretch and able to uncoil, right? So, like I said, start in the semi-open stance. Your hips are faced in the direction, and your chest is going to be facing parallel to the side fence. Again. So, as you uncoil and straighten, you're going to want to lift your back leg up and point it in the direction of the ball. Now, what that does is basically it helps you gauge the direction of the ball and help your upper body start to turn towards the ball. Now, a pointer for this is you want to try and keep your back foot stable and on the ground. All of your weight will now be on your back leg because your other leg will be raised in the air. Naturally, there will be a tendency for your leg to kind of bend slightly, about 45 degrees. You could do that. Other players prefer not to do that for various reasons. But for this case, we're going to be bending.
And the key points are for power is to maximize leg drive. You'll see, the best forehanders using like their calves, everything. And then you'll see maximum core rotation.
So once you straighten, your back foot's off the ground, your foot's pointed in the direction of the ball, right? Then you hit the ball, you make contact. Then afterwards, during the follow through, you'll want to pivot the back foot so that you can finish rotating again at the net or on the other side of the fence.
And because so you start here, you're uncoiling with a lot of force.
Right, exactly.
That's going to cause you to naturally pivot. So you don't want to hit and then just do this. That's going to be a natural thing. Just like when you hit the forehand shot, this is going to be a natural reaction to the force that you're creating in the uncoiling phase.
Now, the best thing about this shot is the fact that once you land, you will be ready into a recovery position. You will want to, once your back foot lands, your weight will be on the back foot, which will allow you to return to your original position, your next shot. That's it, guys. If you liked the video, please share and subscribe. We'll be posting a lot more videos in the future.
And if you have any objections, if we missed anything, please leave it in the comments below. We're always looking to grow ourselves and improve our own game.
Now go out and train hard. See you in the next video.
Peace.